Welcome back to the training ground. In this video, we're going to be covering 5 points of every technical execution. Tell me what those are, please.
Entry, pre-contact, contact, post-contact, exit.
Can you tell us what entry is?
So entry would be like my movement as I'm stepping in to receive the ball.
So in details, it's going to be, when do I enter that space? How do I enter that space? Also, at what speed? We're entering into a certain space that we want to receive the ball. When do we go in there? Because we might go in there too early, and the defender comes, suddenly that space is gone.
Right.
So the timing of the entry is very important. And how do we make that entry, right? How do we go in there? How do we go into that space? At what speed? So that can be at which body orientation do I approach that space? And also at what speed? Do I sprint in there? Do I slowly go in there? Because again, that can be changing the timing of the entry as a whole. So entry is so important if you want to receive the pass with a good amount of space around you. Too early, you are covered by the defender eventually, as the ball is being shaped up to be executed, to be played to your feet. If you're too late, simply you're not gonna get the ball, right? So it's about finding the right time to make an entry. That's why the entry is so important, even before I get on the pass.
Yeah.
Okay. Pre-contact, what is that?
Pre-contact, like before I receive the pass, what's my body shape like, my plant foot, what surface am I going to receive with, which foot I'm going to receive with. All those details kind of go into pre-contact and what's that going to look like, basically to make sure that I'm shaped up to receive the pass properly.
So if you have been following our channel for a while now, there's a video that covers the basics of the very simple first touches. So we talk about the pre-contact there. What does your body look like? What is the foot shape look like? Is it correct? Because if you cannot get that right, forget receiving the pass correctly. We have the 5 points in under one umbrella. Entry, if that's bad, forget the rest. Pre-contact, if that's bad, forget the contact, right? So pre-contact, in essential, is your body shape.
Body shape, yeah.
Body shape. How about contact? Can you tell us what that is?
Yeah, contact is going to be when I'm receiving the ball or passing the ball, right? What part of my foot I'm using, and then obviously same thing, all the details that go into that. So where my plant foot is, where I'm receiving on the ball. So several details that go into contact, but basically that's when I'm making contact with the ball.
Right. When you make the contact on the ball, what do you look like, and have you executed with good technique? Okay. So that's the point number 3 under the umbrella. Next one is obviously the post-contact.
Post-contact.
And a lot of times this gets overlooked.
Yeah, for sure.
But I think it's very, very important. Can you tell us what that is?
Yeah, so post-contact is going to be like right after the ball leaves my foot, right? So I'm sure a lot of you have heard it more like follow through. But yeah, post-contact, what's my foot shape like? Where's my foot going after that ball has kind of left the contact phase?
Yeah. And I think the best example for this is young players or maybe kids who just simply haven't got the coordination in their body or the control of the body just yet, or even the adults who are picking up the sport newly into it. They tend to have the bad habit after they play the pass as a post-contact to cross their legs, or their follow-through goes almost more towards the left. In terms of the anatomy of our body, it makes sense. But what that follow-through causes or post-contact causes in the long distance of the pass, it creates the pass to lean more to that left. So the follow-through is so important because it kind of dictates where the ball can go.
Yeah, you also see pull your leg straight back a lot as well.
Exactly.
Where it's landing like behind your plant foot. And now if I'm going into my exit, I've got to take extra steps to get there.
Exactly. Also, I mean, that's a good example for when we're passing the ball. But even when we're receiving, our post-contact, after we make the contact or after we make the touch, are we pulling the foot back so that we can absorb it?
100%.
Or are we actually just sticking it out here so the ball bounces off? You know, so the post-contact is so crucial because that kind of seals the envelope on your technical package as a whole, right? In that technical execution moment. So you got entry, pre-contact, which is a body shape, contact, which is your technical execution, post-contact, what do you look like right after you execute your technique? Well, obviously entry becoming how do we get into that space, when do we get into this space, and what kind of body shape do I arrive in, right? The last one is going to be the exit.
Right.
Can you tell us what that is?
Yeah, that's just what I'm doing right after that technical execution, right? So especially with younger players, you see a lot of, I play a really good pass and then I stand, I watch it, I'm stagnant afterwards. You'll see high-level players, after they play a pass, there's always a really intentional movement right after that pass, and that's always going to be your exit, how I'm exiting that space that I was just in.
Yeah. Another thing that is very important is right after I say I play the pass to you, and my play is not done, because I always want to be on that ball.
Yep.
So what kind of movement do I need to then create to be able to get myself back on that ball?
Right.
So we're always thinking. So we talked about scanning in another video, and now we're talking about the 5 key points of the technical execution as an umbrella. We got entry, pre-contact, contact, post-contact, and then exit. So you gotta be able to get this as a whole 100% correct every single time.
Yeah.
And nothing can be overlooked here. And if your exit is bad, your entry is going to be bad, which causes the technical breakdown,
100%,
right?
yeah.
Again, if your post-contact is bad, then your exit is going to be bad. In result, your entry is going to be late, right?
Right.
So it's one thing after another. It's not what's most important.
No.
It's what leads up to the next one.
100%.
Yeah.
If you think about it, this is a really simple way to break it down, like technically, but in a game, you're really cycling through the 5 of these constantly, right? So my exit is really going to lead me into another entry.
Of course.
Where I'm kind of, like I said, you're constantly cycling through
Right.
these 5.
So another very good thing, the good advice that I got was, when I was little, when you're watching a game, a professional game, we're not just looking at the game as a whole, but pick out a player that could be playing in your position and see what that player does off the ball to be able to get on that ball.
Right.
So think about it, be intentional with everything that you do.
Yeah, and pick players that play your position as well, right? Because there's a little slightly different details depending on where you're at. I think Ronaldo's another great one, especially later on in his career when he was just like a pure goal scorer, scoring in the box all the time.
His entry timing of the runs.
If you watch his movement in and around the box, like in relation to where the ball's at, like he's so intentional with where he's going and when he goes, when he makes that entry. He's not just standing around in the box and then getting lucky to get on the ball in front of goal every time. It's all very, very intentional. So
be intentional with everything that you do. So thanks for watching.
Yeah.
And see you next time.